go to KZN, where eNCA's Nqobile Madlala is standing by for us. Nqobile, you've been moving around a bit more to see what impact the NEHAWU strike has had. Talk to us about where you are right now and what you're seeing unfolding there.
Well, Marcel, yes, that impact is felt all around KZN from the places that we have been at. I'll show you behind me. This is Hillcrest Hospital. It itself as well, you can see that there were a couple of members that of course were here. They're no longer in front of the gates, but mainly most of them are parked on the outside. The reason for this is because most of them are not working. We're hearing from them that this hospital mainly services people that come to get especially chronic medicine, as well as people that are in areas like rehab. We understand that a lot of the staff then are outside. They say that they are waiting to hear what will be the outcome of the meeting that we heard about earlier on, when they were talking about the fact that their leaders were talking about the fact that they are going to be going onto a meeting to hear what will be the outcome in terms of either to get some of the skeleton staff to go through. We have seen the police as well. They are monitoring the area as well as security. You will remember that the MEC did touch on the fact that they are now speaking to the security cluster to ensure that they make sure that they control whatever is happening on the ground. We are seeing blue security, which is mainly operating in this area. So right next to this hospital is also a primary school, just not far from it. So it's quite interesting that this then disruption is happening here. In fact, in some of the areas that they are parked in is generally where you would see some of the primary school parents coming to pick up their kids. But we are now going to take it to speak to PSA, who's also part of what is happening here on the ground, mainly because they are not on strike. However, they did say yesterday that they are supporting in terms of supporting that 10% increment that they are asking for. So let me ask now, Mlu, we see you here on the ground. Are your people working today?
So our people are working. Some of them obviously have been prevented, as we have clearly said as PSA and said, we are in the negotiation demanding the 10%. What we reject and condemn is where our members are being removed forcefully. It's where our members are being prevented to access the workplace. You must recall that, as I've said yesterday, that on the 10th of November, we went on the street and we have taken a position to say if there is any member that has been intimidated, they must report to police, and we have called the sister union to say those unruly people must be able to be corrected. As a result, if we don't do that, we're going to have a problem. So, and we condemn a situation where hospitals are not accessible. At General Gizenga Hospital, human feces were thrown out at the kitchen. These are the behavior that we should stop. We are a democracy in trade union. This is a democratic country. We need to be able to exercise your right with limitation. That's why we are here. We're checking every hospital to ensure that it's open. We receive a feedback from the MEC and the SOD. They are intervention to ensure that they correct the situation.
And I mean, the situation is out of hand. I mean, we've seen some of the reports, a lot of people talking about Phoenix Clinic, for example, is not currently working. We've seen Guatuguz is also having issues. Just how big is this impact then, really? Where can people get assistance in KZN at this point?
The impact is so huge. Remember, we said as PSA, we're not going to attack our own sister union, but what we are saying, the public health is a constitutional right. People must be given this access, because some of the people who are blocking this entrance, they've got medical aid. So there are people who are dying in certain hospitals because they cannot be able to access the full complement of the staff. As we have correctly said, Guatuguz is the same thing, Eddington is the same thing. People who want to go on street must go on street. Remember that we fight against employer on the different phases. We went on the strike, it was peaceful. That's why we educate even other sister union to say you can still raise your grievance peacefully, but you can't be aggressive. It's for this reason to say, as much as we support the demand, because as PSA, we are in the negotiation, we support that demand, but PSA, we believe in constitutional democracy. What we are saying is that the department must take actions. Those people who are arrogant, who continue to be unruly, they must be arrested. Action must be taken. Otherwise, we become a public republic. It's important that we take this particular action. We're going to visit other institutions. We are ready to work and be able to service. As PSA, we understand there are essential services. There are doctors, there are nurses. We must provide this particular service. As leaders, we must be responsible. We must not be selfish in order to be able to gain popularities. That's why as PSA will tell the truth as it is, even if it's our members who do the wrong thing. If it happens that our members block the gate in a hospital, we're going to open a criminal case against them. That's why we go around and provide them with advice. But you must remember, government has created this mess. Government is refusing to recognize the workers. Workers has not been giving a decent salary increase. Just look at how Thulas Nxesi have been behaving. They want to see us divided. PSA is calling for unity. That's why we're not affiliated to any political parties. We deal with bread and butter issues. We are the union of choice. We will continue to ensure that we attend to these particular matters. We call for unity of workers. Everyone must go to the negotiation. Let's negotiate.
How far are those negotiations that you're talking about?
So we have put our demand. We're waiting for the employer. Employer has placed 4.7%. We have put our 10% demand. We're saying we're ready for them. And we ask them to speed up this process. By the 15th of April, PSA is saying our members want to see a decent increase, want to see the housing allowance increase by 2,500, want to see those that invest in housing allowance getting their money. We want to see positions being filled. We want to see compliance with OSS. That's why we are saying we are not afraid, we are not scared. When our leaders are wrong, we'll tell them. So they must not stop people. PSA went on the street alone. We did not canvass anyone. There was no violence, but the minister did not listen to us because they did not want to take PSA seriously. They even attacked the PSA. We are saying government must be blamed, and we call the executive in KwaZulu-Natal to ensure that our members are safe. Some of our members have not reported for duty because they are scared. Some of them now, they are stressful, they are depressed because they are receiving call and certain threats. We call for the unity of the working class because PSA has become the vanguard of the working class. We want to provide direction. Let's provide servicing to people. Let's operate within the ambit of the law. We'll win these battles if we are united. We call for 10%. PSA will never sell out the working class. We are on the side of the workers, but we will never accept where people disrespect laws. If you want to deal with crime in South Africa, we must start deal with this. Leaders must be held accountable because closing hospital, people are dying. As PSA, I would have failed as a provincial leader not to condemn that particular action. I don't care who does what. People must stop to be popularist. People must stop to prevent people to access healthcare services. Let's all operate within the ambit of the law. So we call for the unity of the working class. 10% forward.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. So there is PSA saying that they are supporting the 10% call, but of course they're saying that it's very important that all of this is done within the ambit of the law. Now, this is Hillcrest Hospital that we're standing in front of, and it's currently not functional. We're seeing reports of Phoenix as well, the clinic also being affected. We're seeing reports as well of some people talking about KwaDukuza as well, still being affected. So the strike still does continue, but a lot of people that needs assistance are really just paying a hefty price.